Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for part 4 of Journaling on a Budget Extra, and we are making a lap book. So this is the paper that I chose to put in on the outside spines, and so I did cut it to the right length of the book that we need. And then what I need to do is I want to bring this paper up to the edge of our flap. Now we do know that we might not keep this flap, but if we do keep it, I want it to look nice and I want it to just run right along to there. So I'm going to kind of tuck this in here, bring it down a little bit, and say that I want to cut this right about here. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my cutter. And the nice thing about this is because we have that extra space underneath the paper that we didn't glue down last time, we have some wiggle room as to what size we make it. So then what we're going to do is just go ahead and glue it on. Now, the one thing that I want to do is right here, right there, and at the bottom down here, right about here. I don't want to put any glue right along this edge here and right along this edge down here, because what's going to happen is that's going to touch the back cover of our book and then this won't move. So I can attach it to the edge of this after I trim it down just a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is let's see, which way does it go? It goes this way. So we're going to put our glue on here. We're going to avoid that little spot that we'll need to glue later. This is what's going to go on the spine and go underneath the other paper. This is what's going to go on top of our pocket, but then I'm going to avoid a little bit right down here. I'm not putting anything so that I don't stick it to the back cover. I want to make sure I get the edge well. Up there and down here. And then I'm just going to lift this up and put it underneath, and then I'm going to come out here and line it up with the edge of my pocket. Now, if it's hard to line it up with the edge of your pocket, you can go a little bit higher than your pocket. It won't make a difference. Then I want to make sure that I'm good top and bottom here. And actually, I'm going to pull this up even just a little bit more, because I forgot about that we have to push it into our crease. I should have done that like we did the center. I should have fixed that crease before I put the glue on. So I'm going to do that now. Find where that crease is at and get it creased really well. Now see, I'm pulling off of because I'm doing the crease, I'm pulling it down off of my pocket, but we'll just have to deal with that. You'll go ahead and put your creases in before you glue it down. I can trim that, I can ink it, I can do something to fix that. Let me find the other part of the crease there. And go ahead and get that creased well. And then just get that pressed down really, really well. Get under here and press it down under here. There we go. And now we can put glue on this part right here to finish gluing it down. You can put on your paper, you can put it on the book. And there we go. Get that pressed in there really well. There. And, you know, don't worry about, you know, doing those folds and everything. If it's not going to hold up now, well, then it's not going to hold up later. I mean, you do have to let your glue dry a little bit. This is a quick grab, and I don't want to, you know, overdo it, but don't be cautious with your book. I got glue on it. Because you want to make sure that it is going to hold up to whatever you're doing to it, you know, when you take it on a trip. So don't be overly cautious. Use it up. Use it well while you're making it. Bend it around, tip it around. That way if something comes apart, you can fix it before it goes anywhere with you. I'm going to make sure that I'm under there a little bit. And I'm just going to come out here and I'm going to mark it right there. And I'm going to do that again because I can't find the mark. Make sure I'm under there. I'm just using the edge of my little pocket there to give me a mark. And just cut it quick with the trimmer. There we go. Remember, all little bits, keep them because you never know what you might need them for. You might even need them for a fix. Now, before we do this one, I am going to line this up with the pocket. And I'm going to hold it there so it does not move. And then I'm going to figure out what I did with my little, whatever it is, thing. Find that crease. And go ahead. Crease my paper there. There we go. And then make sure that that's where it's supposed to be and find the other crease. Holding it in the center so that this one doesn't move this way, and put your creases in the wrong spot. Okay. And that's good enough because we're not like pushing it down into the groove like we did over here, but we just need to have those creases there. Now we are going to, I'm going to mark the bottom of my paper. Right there. And right here. To make sure that I don't put glue on those spots, I'm going to start there so that I remember to leave a gap. And down here I need to remember to leave a gap. And then go ahead and put my glue on. Okay. Oh, and always try and remember to make sure your paper is right side up. This one is not upside down, but I'm good at that sometimes when I'm doing projects. I pick it up to glue it, turn it around, and then glue it on upside down. So always remember to watch that. But if you were to glue it on upside down, you can glue something over top of it. If you can't get it off, you can. These are going to be very covered anyways. Okay. And there we go. That looks good. Making sure we've got it pressed there really well. And put our glue in over here. You just want to make sure that you do get it out to the edges, being that this is the base. Whoops. Okay. So, there we go. Now that is all stuck down. Now that we have two options. Being that we glued this to our pocket, but we did not make it so that it would glue to our book, we can leave it stick out like it is, like that. Or we can cut that off even with the top of our blue page. And right now, it does not look bad sticking out at all. And I kind of like how this is all one length instead of we would trim it down to here and then have to go out right there. So I think I'm going to leave it. But at least it's not glued down to my back cover. That was our main thing, was we had to make sure we didn't get glue on that part right there. And if you did, get it lifted up get it lifted up before it dries and let the glue dry, and then you'll be okay still. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And there we go. So now we have those done. And this is what we have so far. So, and of course these are going to, they're going to go back and forth until we get those parts filled. But I think that that looks pretty good. And we're going to put our, we're going to put eyelets in here. Now, I have my crocodile or big bite or whatever it is in case that the game board that we put in there is just too hard to get through quickly. But this is a silent setter. This is a manual. Basically, it's a hole punch. And then after you punch the hole, here, I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it comes like. And so you have your cutters here, and these are the things that will press down your eyelets. I prefer these for a couple reasons. Number one, they're quiet. Number two, they put things exactly where I want them, and they don't make any kind of a mess. I can use the crocodile to cut, or big bite or whatever it is. I can use it to cut the holes, but I have one heck of a time trying to get it to set my eyelets. So now we've got about 2.5 inches, so 1 1/4 is my center, and I want to be just about 1/2 inch down. I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so 1 1/4 is my center. So I'm going to put one eyelet here. I'm going to come down here. Well, come on. Go up about 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. Okay, and I'm going to kind of measure this way. That looks a little less than 1 1/4. That one looks a little bit more than 1 1/4. Oh, no, I was looking at 1 1/2. Okay, they look fairly even. And so then what I'm going to do, this is just like a little cutting board that comes with the setter. You put that underneath so that you don't put a hole in your tablecloth. And then you just line this up like this. And then you just take your hand and put it right over top of here. And you just twist back and forth until it cuts through whatever you're cutting. Now, I would have no doubt that it would cut through the cardboard over here, even though there's a few layers. But that game board was really hard. And I have cut through my paper, and I have cut through my fabric. And I am having to push really hard. And I do find that if you kind of do it in layers like that, take it off a little bit, pull out what's ever been cut, it works better that way. I'll get a pokey tool here to take out the layer that I've got cut. And then when I get to the other side, I'll have to cut through the fabric again. You can also buy these that you hammer, that you hit with a hammer, and they work, but they're loud. Okay, so that's how they work, and it will work for this, but in order to save time, I will use this to cut the hole. I can get it lined up in there. And then turn it around this way and do the one down here. Oh, and I moved it. There we go. Okay, so now we have our holes cut, and we're going to put an eyelet in there. Excuse me. And I pulled out some kind of a gray blue, or it's not really baby blue because it's not that bright, but I thought that this would go nicely. Now, when you put in your eyelets, you're going to want them to put them in so that the how do I want to say that? The finished side is inside your book, because the back side, we're going to put a spine on it. It will get covered. But that front side is the side, the part that's inside you're going to see. Now what you do when you have one of these is you take this piece, and this piece is what smushes it down, has a little lump in the middle that fits in the hole. And then you're just going to press down and again twist, and I kind of like roll it around. And there we go, that is pressed in there really nicely. See? And that's what it looks on this side, looks like. So then we'll just put the other one in. And then I picked up some stretchy string from the Dollar Tree. Now, can you sew a signature in the center of this? You can. But if you sew a signature in the center of this, you'll never be able to remove it. And what I put here in the center is a writing pad. So I really do want to be able to remove it, because I want to be able to replace it or replace the pages, because it's not super, make sure that that's through there really well. You know, I don't have a whole ton of pages in it, so I don't want to run out of pages and not be able to replace them. Oops, I forgot to do this way. That kind of flattens it out a little bit on the edges. So there we go. Now that one is in too. So now we have got those in, and this stretchy lace I got at the Dollar Tree, or they call it stretchy lace. It's just like stretchy string. You can use any kind of elastic. And I have to decide, do I want to do blue or do I want to do light purple? Because this book is not supposed to be all blue. I think I'm going to do the light purple. I really do. So I am just going to just cut a piece. And I'm going to put it from the back to the front so that I have the strings inside in case I decide I want to put some charms on them. So put each end in from the back. And then just tie a knot. And there we go. And then just slide the knot to the top. And there. Now you've got your strings here that you can put some charms on. This here is where we will put a notebook. And what I'm going to do for right this second, I'm going to grab this and I'm going to pull it through to the outside and hope that I don't forget to bring it back when I put the spine on. Which I do the outside of the book whenever I do a journal. I always do the outside last. That way, as it's laying on my table and I'm working on it, I'm not getting crud all over something that I did and I love, and all of a sudden it's just a mess. So there we go. Now we have all of our spines completed. Kind of messed up our paper right here a little bit. And we have our center portion ready for our journaling book. And that's how far we have made it today. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate you stopping by, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.